Welcome back to Facing the Mirror. I'm your host, Christina. This is the podcast where we stop looking at the surface reflection, the mask we polish for the world, and we start looking deeper into the cracks, into the dark corners, into the parts of ourselves we've been trying to hide, only to realize that those are the very parts holding the keys to our freedom. Today, I want to talk about a word that carries more weight than almost any other word I hear in my practice. It is a heavy word, a sticky word, a shame-filled word. That word is laziness. We have all been there. You set the goal. You buy the domain name for the new business. You buy the running shoes. You promise yourself that this time it's going to be different. And then, 3 weeks later, the shoes are gathering dust, the website is untouched, and you are on the couch, binge watching a show you don't even like, scrolling through your phone, feeling a sense of absolute paralysis. And the voice in your head says, "You're just lazy. You just don't want it bad enough. What is wrong with you?" Today, I want to offer you a different perspective, a perspective based on deep psychological work, specifically shadow work. I want to propose a radical idea. Laziness does not exist. What if I told you that what you call laziness is actually a high-functioning intelligent security system designed to keep you safe? What if you aren't broken? You're just protected. Today, we're going to walk into the basement of your psyche. We're going to face the mirror and find out why you're really stuck. And I promise you, the answer isn't try harder. To understand why we get stuck, we first have to understand the architecture of who we are. In my work, I lean heavily on the concepts of Carl Jung. I want you to imagine your personality is a house. When you were a child, you learned very quickly that certain rooms in this house were acceptable to the outside world, to your parents, your teachers, your church. If you were praised for being the good listener or the responsible one, you decorated your front porch to look exactly like that. We call this the persona. This is the mask. It's the smiling face you greet the world with. It's clean, it's tidy, and it's safe. But you are a human being. You are vast. You also had anger. You had selfishness. You had messy desires. You had wild, untamed ambition. But maybe you were told that anger isn't nice, or that wanting money is greedy. So what did you do? You didn't get rid of those parts. Energy cannot be destroyed. Instead, you took those traits, you shoved them into a bag, dragged them down to the basement of your house, and you locked the door. In psychology, we call that basement the shadow. The shadow isn't just evil stuff. The shadow is simply everything you had to disown in order to be loved. Here's the problem with traditional goal setting. You set a goal from your front porch. You say, "I'm going to build a multi-million-dollar empire." But if your basement contains a repressed belief that says, "Rich people are bad," or "If I am seen, I will be attacked," then you have a civil war in your house. You are trying to build a skyscraper on top of a basement that is actively trying to pull the foundation down. That friction, that heavy, dragging feeling you call laziness, that is just the basement banging on the floorboards, demanding to be heard. Let's go a little deeper, and I want you to visualize an iceberg. We know the image. There is the tiny white tip sticking out of the water. That's about 10%. And then there's the massive dark mountain of ice beneath the surface, the other 90%. The tip of the iceberg is your conscious mind. That's your logic. That's your willpower. That's where your New Year's resolutions live. The 90% underwater, that is your unconscious mind. That is your nervous system. And most importantly, that is where your survival instincts live. Here is the golden rule of shadow work. The psyche's primary job is not success. It is survival. And when you try to change your life using just discipline or willpower, you are using the 10% to try and drag the 90%. It is physics. You will lose every single time. So let's reframe laziness. I want you to stop seeing your laziness as a monster that is ruining your life. I want you to imagine it as a bodyguard, a big, burly security guard standing at the door of your nervous system. This bodyguard loves you. Its only job is to keep you alive. Imagine you set a goal. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Your conscious mind says, great, health is good. But your bodyguard, deep in the shadow, checks its files. It sees a memory from high school gym class where you were humiliated. It associates gym with pain and shame. So the bodyguard assesses the situation and says, gym equals danger. Abort mission. The bodyguard tackles you. It pins you to the couch. It makes you feel heavy, tired, and foggy. You think, why am I so lazy? But the bodyguard is radioing back to headquarters. Target secured. I kept them on the sofa. They are safe from humiliation. Mission accomplished. Laziness is protective resistance. It is your nervous system slamming on the brakes because it perceives your goal as a threat. Now, let's talk about the other side of this coin. Sometimes the bodyguard isn't protecting you from failure. Sometimes it is protecting you from success. This is a concept from the psychologist Gay Hendricks called the upper limit problem. Think of your nervous system as having a thermostat, not for temperature, but for happiness, abundance, and love. If you grew up in a chaotic home, or if you are used to struggle, your thermostat might be set to 70 degrees. This is your comfort zone. Now let's say that you have an amazing week, you land a new client, you feel great, your relationship is perfect, your internal temperature shoots up to 90 degrees. You are feeling too good, too successful. Your unconscious mind starts flashing red lights. Warning, unknown territory, we are unsafe. So your shadow kicks in to regulate the temperature. It makes you do something to cool it down. You oversleep, you pick a fight with your spouse over the dishes, you eat food that makes you feel sluggish. You create a crisis to bring yourself back down to that familiar 70 degrees. So when you see yourself self-sabotaging right after a win, please be gentle with yourself. You aren't crazy, you just hit your upper limit. You are expanding, and your nervous system is trying to snap you back to what it knows. We've talked about the dark stuff in the basement, but here's the most tragic part of the shadow. We don't just hide our darkness, we hide our light. Jung called this the golden shadow. Many of us were taught that it's dangerous to be too much, too smart, too beautiful, too powerful. Don't be arrogant, they said. Don't be a show-off. So you took your genius, your leadership, and your power, and you locked them in the basement too. And now you feel unmotivated. Why? Because you're trying to drive a car after you disconnected the engine. You cut yourself off from your own power source because you were taught power is bad. How do you know if you have a golden shadow? I have a tool for you, and it might sting a little. Who are you jealous of? If you scroll through Instagram and see someone living the life you want, and you feel that pang of envy, that bitter taste, that is a map. In shadow work, we believe that you cannot admire a quality in someone else unless you possess it yourself. If you admire someone's confidence, it's because you are confident, but you've repressed it. If you are jealous of an artist, it's because you are an artist who is afraid to pick up the brush. You are projecting your golden shadow onto them. You're letting them hold your keys, and the laziness you feel is simply the depression of a soul that is watching someone else live its life. So how do we fix this? How do we stop fighting the bodyguard? We have to move from willpower goals to aligned goals. We have to negotiate with the shadow. If you know your bodyguard is afraid of burnout, you can't just say, I'm going to work 12 hours a day. The bodyguard will tackle you. You need a safety clause. A safety clause is a promise you make to your shadow to keep it calm. Instead of saying, I'm going to write a best-selling book, which triggers the fear of failure, try this one instead. I'm going to write for 20 minutes a day, and I am allowed to write absolute garbage that no one will ever see. Do you feel the difference in your body when I say that? The pressure drops. The bodyguard stands down. Oh, garbage? We can do garbage. That's safe. If you're afraid of burnout, Your goal becomes, I will start this business, but I promise to never work on Sundays and to turn my phone off at 6 p.m. When you respect the shadow's fear, the shadow stops resisting you and it starts supporting you. So here's my challenge to you this week. The next time you find yourself stuck on the couch or procrastinating on that big dream, don't attack yourself. Do not call yourself lazy. Face the mirror, look deeper. Close your eyes and ask, what is my bodyguard trying to protect me from? Is it failure? Is it success? Is it exhaustion? Thank the bodyguard, give it a safety clause, and then grab the hand of the shadow, walk out the front door, and build the life you are actually meant to live. Whole, integrated, and awake. Remember, your shadow is not your enemy, it's your teacher. I'm Christina, and this has been Facing the Mirror, and I'll see you next time.